Are you really learning from all that content you consume or just schooling? Imagine if every piece of information you consumed made you smarter, more productive, and less stressed. Sounds like a dream, right? In today's fast paced world, simply taking in more information isn't enough. You need to process it effectively. This video is going to show you how intentional information consumption can become your secret superpower. I used to pride myself on being plugged in. Newsletters at breakfast, podcasts on my commute, Slack buzzing all day, and news feeds before bed. Yet, despite consuming more than ever, my mind felt cluttered and my to-do list never shrank. Even my girlfriend, who just wanted to read up on hair care and health, would come away from a quick 30-minute scroll on Instagram feeling mentally foggy. It turns out we're not alone. Research shows that the human brain was never designed to process the volume of data we face today. An average executive gets over 200 emails a day and spends multiple hours in meetings, while still trying to keep up with industry trends. Knowledge workers now devote 28% of their work week to email and must juggle more than 200 messages daily. No wonder we feel overwhelmed. Information overload is real. The modern workplace has turned into a cognitive battleground. The average executive's inbox isn't just full, it's overflowing. Our working memory can only handle roughly 7 plus minus 2 bits of information at once. Bombard that system with hundreds of emails, Slack pings, and TikTok clips, and you start dropping the mental equivalent of spinning plates. This overload comes at a cost: decision fatigue, the phenomenon where the quality of our decisions drops after prolonged decision making, sets in quicker than ever. Constantly choosing whether to reply, delete, or delegate every email isn't just annoying, it drains our mental energy. Studies even show that after an email interruption, it takes about 23 minutes to fully refocus. Yet, most professionals check email every 6 minutes. On top of the emails and meetings, we now have AI-generated content flooding the internet. Europol predicts that by the mid-2020s, roughly 90% of online content could be created by AI tools. The World Economic Forum has gone so far as to rank misinformation and disinformation as the world's biggest short-term risk. We've already seen AI fabricated images cause stock market dips and deepfake videos mislead millions. If we aren't careful about what we consume, we can't trust that we're even being informed at all. All this noise has serious consequences. People in the United Kingdom spend about 5 hours a day online, and some individuals admit to logging up to 14 hours of screen time. That means less time for physical activity, reading, or connecting face-to-face with other humans. And more anxiety and doom scrolling, of course. Many participants in digital detox programs report feeling less stressed and more connected after just a few hours offline. So our first lesson is to recognize that more information doesn't equal more clarity. It often equals more confusion. Start with what matters. Before you can filter the noise, you need to know what matters. Productivity research teaches us to apply the 80-20 principle. Focus the majority of your effort on activities that create disproportionate value. High-impact tasks are those aligned with your core strengths, energize you, and support your growth. Low-impact activities, busy work, purposeless meetings, and endless scrolling must be minimized. The same applies to information. Ask yourself, what are my core objectives? Which knowledge gaps do I genuinely need to fill? Which topics energize me or move my work forward? Once you've defined your North Star, build a wide list of trusted sources that directly support those goals. A news aggregator like Feedly or Flipboard can become your personalized newsroom. These platforms centralize information from multiple sources, allow you to customize by topic, and deliver diverse perspectives while filtering out the irrelevant. As counterintuitive as it sounds, consuming less can often make you smarter. Essays on the low information diet point out that much of the content we binge, hot takes on social media, endless, commentary and speculation doesn't just waste time. It can be harmful. Nassim Taleb famously noted that the 30 hours you spent studying the news last month had neither predictive power nor lasting value. More data isn't always better. Paying attention to the eye color of pedestrians while crossing the street may make you miss the truck. In other words, you need to deliberately ignore information that doesn't serve your mission. So, leverage AI, but don't trust it blindly. AI summaries can be game-changing when used wisely. Yahoo News and other outlets now offer key takeaways generated by AI to summarize articles for busy readers. These summaries are built to pull information only from the article itself, reducing the chance of errors. They are labeled as conveniences, not replacements. And user engagement has reportedly increased by 50%, with time spent per user rising 165% after these features were introduced. The Wall Street Journal even adds a "What's this" button to every AI summary and keeps a human editor in the loop to maintain accuracy. Use similar summarization tools or browser extensions to get concise versions of articles in seconds, but always verify critical details and consult full articles for nuanced issues. A good news aggregator can be your personalized information concierge. The best platforms let you pull news from hundreds of sources into a single dashboard. Customize topics so you only see what matters to you. Get diverse perspectives and filter by relevance or popularity. Save time by presenting headlines and concise summaries that you can scan quickly. I recommend starting with a free tool like Feedly and upgrading to AI-powered suggestions once you've built the habit. Email is still one of the biggest culprits behind cognitive overload. Try these steps. First, batch your email. Instead of living in your inbox, set 2 or 3 periods a day to process emails. This reduces context switching, which research suggests take 23 minutes to recover from. Then use smart filters. Auto-archive newsletters, highlight messages from key collaborators, and snooze non-urgent threads. Then you can set expectations. Let colleagues know when you'll be checking email. A surprising 73% of customers expect replies within an hour, but internal work rarely needs that level of immediacy. Adopt unified communication tools. Gartner research shows that unified platforms can reduce email volume by up to 40%. Research into offline clubs and digital detox events reveals that stepping away from screens can dramatically reduce stress. More than 1,000 participants recently pledged to spend 24 hours offline, swapping screen time for real time. People report feeling more relaxed, creative, and connected after these breaks. Build regular detox periods into a routine, whether it's a device-free hour every evening or a full day each month. Use a real alarm clock, hide your phone during meals and conversations, and replace doom scrolling with walks, books, or hobbies. When you return online, your feeds will feel far less urgent. Consuming information intentionally means engaging with it. Note-taking isn't just for students. It forces you to process and rephrase information, which deepens understanding and improves retention. Research shows that even in online learning, handwritten or stylus-based notes help balance the cognitive benefits of longhand with the convenience of digital access. Interestingly, writing notes by hand slows you down, but that's a feature, not a bug. In 2014 study, longhand note takers wrote fewer words yet retained more conceptual understanding because the slower pace gave them time to think. By contrast, laptop note takers often transcribe verbatim, leading to shallower learning. So, when reading an article or watching a talk, pause to jot down the main ideas in your own words. Use diagrams, arrows, and mind maps to connect concepts for digital convenience. Apps like Notability or GoodNotes mimic pen and paper while storing everything in the cloud. Learning sticks when you create something from it. After reading, summarize the key points for a colleague or record a short voice note explaining what you learned. This two-way street turns passive consumption into active synthesis. You can also try the Feynman technique. Explain a complex concept as if teaching it to a curious child. If you get stuck, revisit the source and fill the gaps. Curiosity is the antidote to superficial browsing. Instead of scrolling aimlessly, ask yourself, why is this important? How does it relate to what I already know? What's missing from this narrative? And the quality of your questions dictate the depth of your learning. Write down 2 or 3 questions before you start reading and use them to guide your note-taking. When you intentionally curate what you consume, you reclaim cognitive resources. Executives who adopt structured information triage, protect deep work periods, and use AI tools for summarization tend to make better decisions. They're less prone to analysis paralysis because they're only processing relevant signals. Organizations that tackle email overload see 25% improvements in employee satisfaction and 15% increases in productivity. Reducing the noise lowers stress and anxiety. Offline club attendees reported feeling less stressed and more connected after just a few hours of detox. Meanwhile, establishing clear boundaries around information intake prevents decision fatigue and mental exhaustion. By focusing on your North Star using AI summarization really intentionally and practicing active reading, you free up mental space for deeper work. You're more likely to catch patterns, generate original ideas, and remember what you read. Note-taking and deliberate practice turn scattered facts into quiet understanding. Intentional information consumption isn't about going off-grid or ignoring reality. It's about choosing what deserves your attention. As we've seen, more data can actually cloud your vision, while a well-curated information diet clarifies it. Here's your actionable roadmap. First, define your North Star. Identify your key objectives and knowledge gaps. Use the 80-20 principle to prioritize. Then, build a whitelist. Use a news aggregator to centralize trusted sources and customize by topic. Then, use AI to summarize, not replace. Lean on AI-powered summaries for quick digestions, but keep a human eye for nuance. You can also batch and filter your email. Schedule email sessions, leverage smart filters, and set boundaries. Schedule digital detoxes. Designate tech-free hours or days. Notice how your stress levels drop and creativity rises. Practice active reading and note-taking. Process information by writing it down and teaching it, of course. And at last, synthesize and ask questions. Turn consumption into creation and cultivate curiosity. If you adopt these habits, you will transform from an overwhelmed consumer into a deliberate information architect. You will make better decisions, feel less stressed, and actually remember what you learn. Let me know in the comments which strategy you've excited to try, and consider sharing this video with someone drowning in digital noise. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Intentionally, of course.